What's up, friends? Welcome to The Beautiful Mess, where we talk about tools and tactics to improve your life. I'm super excited about the one and only Spencer Pugh joining us again. It's been a while. How are you, good Spencer?
Man, it's been a long while, and you've just been trucking away, and it's been awesome. I'm great. I've been very busy, got a new job, and been doing that thing, trying to juggle that and family and my own content, and it's just been a great time. How have you been?
That's awesome. Good, man. It couldn't be better now that you're on the podcast. Hey, you should tell the peeps about your YouTube channel. You've been doing some stuff there, so make sure you check it out. Spencer Pugh. Just search it on the YouTube. Check out the stuff. So you've been kind of experimenting a little bit with the content you're creating. Any stuff that like you think people should check out, or?
Yeah, I've been just kind of thinking of the why behind the content I'm making and what kind of content I want to make. So I've got my main channel, Spencer Scott Pugh, and then I am kind of trying to do like monthly vlog type things too, that are more like little family films that I take a lot of time on. And that's over, it used to be Spencer Scott Pugh vlogs. And now I think I just changed it to like the Pugh family vlogs or something, since it is indeed me and my family. So you can check that out too. Should be awesome.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I like the vibe of those vlogs. Like I've checked out a couple of them, just really chill. Good vibes, fun times. Yeah, so be sure to check out all that good stuff. So it's been a while. I know that like one thing that I wanted to talk to you, Spencer, I've like on all the episodes that I talk about minimalism, I'm like, I should talk to Spencer about minimalism. He'd be a good person to have on the show about minimalism. Minimalism is great. Hey, how has minimalism like impacted your life? Like, do you feel like you're still living out the minimalist lifestyle? I know like that was a big thing, especially when you had your YouTube channel, was talking about minimalism and the influence that it's had on your life, or different things. What was it, like the clothing project where you reduced the number of clothes? Like, do you still feel like you live out the same way, or like what's changed? And like, do you still feel like minimalism's relevant to you?
Yeah, I think once I learned about minimalism, it made a lot of sense to me. And I think it's in all of my thinking, you know, if I'm about to buy something or if I'm going to get new clothes, it's still there. I don't think it's as structured as it used to be, but I think, you know, it being different for everyone, it's kind of changed over time what it is to me. And I would love to go back, especially the Project 333, which is the clothing idea you were talking about. I want to try to do that like challenge again, which is basically just owning 33 pieces of clothing for 3 months. So basically a capsule wardrobe for a season. And I've been meaning to make a video of like my summer 33 pieces of clothing. So it's definitely something I still think about. And, you know, even having a daughter now and toys and things, there's a lot that's kind of out of my hands in a way. And a lot of just understanding that minimalism isn't just a hard and fast rule. You know, it's not you only own 33 pieces of clothing and so does your daughter. And so like it's a lot of navigating that as well. And I think it's been cool. Maria starting to think about downsizing with the stuff we have. And on the flip side, when we do buy stuff, making sure it's good quality and stuff that will last us a long time, instead of, you know, a bunch of cheap stuff, if that makes sense. So it's definitely in our thinking, and it's even more so in Maria's thinking now. But I love the idea. I think it's great.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I definitely feel like with the family, you're like, your version of minimalism has to like mold around, you know, the family, because like obviously if you wanted to go and get rid of like half of the possessions, like there could be a big problem if everyone's not on board. And so definitely making things so that it helps the family and doesn't hinder the family is super important. So yeah, that's awesome. The other thing, we're both, I think, big tech nerds. You in particular, you love the Apple. I love the Apple too. I've definitely bitten more into the Apple with buying an iPhone and getting more into the ecosystem. But Apple just had their WWDC, right? Is that right? But what does it stand for? Do you remember?
Yeah, the Worldwide Developers Conference. So it's a conference that's still going on. I think it lasts a week. And so what we see as consumers is the opening keynote. So they're actually still doing a bunch of cool stuff over there.
Yeah. So what do you think were like some of the biggest takeaways? I mean, they definitely released a ton of stuff, I feel like, with the WWDC keynote.
I think I said this to you in a text the other day. I think maybe I'm just getting old, or maybe I'm sort of moving away from being so ingrained in tech, but it's almost like the number of features that they're rolling out feels overwhelming. And it's like they're all really cool, and I want to take advantage of all of them. So, for example, like iOS 16 was released in the beta, which will come out in the fall with the new iPhones. And there's all these amazing new features, like with messages, how you can edit your messages after you send them, or delete a message after you send it, if you send it to the wrong person, or if you said something incorrectly. And it's just so much little things that I'm not going to remember. And so I wonder how much of these awesome new features I'll actually end up using if they're not in sort of my knowledge that can be used. So I don't know. There's a lot of really cool stuff. iOS 16, macOS, super cool. One thing that really stuck out to me was with macOS and iOS 16, you can now use your phone as a webcam, which is super cool. And they're even making these little, like, third-party companies are making these little clips that clip to the top of your computer and hold your phone. And you can even like have one of your phone's cameras looking at you, and then one of them like using the wide angle lens, like pointing down.
That was insane. Like, I will say that, like, just seeing that ability to get I'm guessing it was a wide angle, was able to get this top down shot somehow. Like, I have no idea how the magic happened behind like getting that top down shot. But like, I'm just thinking as a creator, that could be a game changer, because like if you're live streaming, or if you want to like be able to toggle between two different views, having that wide angle, like I'm still like boggled by the science behind that. Like, I don't know how, but yeah, that's definitely something I'm excited about.
We'll have to see if it works or not. I'm sure it'll work, but it might be a little more finicky than we think. They always make it look so flawless and amazing in those keynotes. So
speaking of flawless and amazing, like, I feel like they've upped the production quality. I mean, like, Apple's always like a big presenter when it comes to their events, but like with COVID, I think like they've actually upped the production quality like insane. Like the drone shots, just the presentation, like the transitions, like, as a like content creator, it's just like insane to think of how many man hours goes behind one event.
Yeah. Which I think I said to you the other day too, like I would, or maybe, I don't know if it was you, I wouldn't mind if they ever go back to like the live keynotes, because these are just so great. I'm sure the live stuff's cool if you're actually there, but yeah. And I think going off that too, COVID has affected the way tech companies are approaching new products. And I think that whole idea of your phone filming you and filming your desk, and there's a lot of new software developments with Mac OS, where like working with teams online, it's all geared towards this working away from one another, but still being connected in the work that you're doing. And we saw this come around when like Zoom, like everyone was hopping on Zoom. A ton of companies started to up their like video capabilities and live stream stuff. So that's pretty cool. I think we're moving into a strange world where we don't really have to be near one another to work together. So I don't know. It's a lot of interesting stuff that, again, I don't know if I'll use a lot of it, simply because most of the people at my work here are on PCs as well. So that's something to think about. But if you're a creative team working on all Macs, like the ecosystem and way that you can interact with these technology advancements are pretty awesome. So it's exciting.
Yeah, like just thinking about even, I think this was last year, they had like the feature where you have your iPad and your Mac and the ability to like drag and drop from one seamlessly. It was just like, what? Like, I'm making a prediction here, but I think the iPad and the Mac are just gonna like, they're gonna come together, and it's just gonna be this like, they're gonna, I don't know if they're gonna make a touchscreen MacBook or what, but I do think that the differences between an iPad and a Mac are becoming almost like blurred, especially with the release of what was it, the Stage View?
Yeah, which I got the beta on my phone and on my Mac, and Stage View I think will take some getting used to on the Mac at least. I'm used to using this app called Magnet, which PC has had this forever, but you can basically like click and drag a window to like the side of your screen, and it'll like take up half your screen, or to the corner and it'll take up, a quarter of your screen. And so my workflow is very much that, like dragging them around, they're automatically adjusting. And with Stage View, first of all, that app doesn't work. Like I'm not able to do that, but also Stage View tries to do that automatically for you, depending on what you're working on. And it was just, I don't know, especially on like a little MacBook screen, I don't think it's as friendly as like throwing it up on like a bigger iMac or something. But yeah, I don't know. They're going to try and keep iPad and the MacBook separate as long as humanly possible, I think, because people are still buying.
Like when they originally announced it, I think like Steve Jobs said, like they're never going to make like the iPad like take over. Like they're never going to like merge the two, but I feel like it's coming closer and closer. It could be just a matter of time. But yeah, I think Stage View, like they've got a little ways to go with that. I was excited to see it. However, I think I have some questions because like the side seems to take up way too much screen real estate. Like to me, it's just like you could make it a little bit smaller onto the side. And I guess like, don't they already kind of have something similar with like, what is it? The desktop views? Like you can like make separate desktops.
Well, I think the Stage View or whatever it's called is better for iPad than it is for Mac, because I think what we had on iPad before was like split screens, and I always thought those were pretty like finicky. Like, I don't know, there's still something to be said for having multiple windows open on a Mac and being able to move them around, and you just can't do that on iPad. So I think this is their attempt to bring something similar to iPad, again keeping it separate from Mac. And I'm sure at some point iPad and Mac will like merge together, but they're still selling both right now. So my guess is they'll try to keep them, they'll try to keep them different so that there are reasons to buy one or the other. But when they release something like Stage View on both, it's kind of like, okay, that's interesting. So
they're definitely moving towards having them be one. iPad, I feel like there's a lot more functionality coming to it. I would love to see their bigger apps go to it, like Final Cut would be amazing to see on the iPad. I think that's like some of the things that's holding back creators from jumping completely into something like an iPad, like a portable production system. But the processing power.
Yeah, it could run it, right? It's got these crazy chips in there, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think when the iPad switched over to the silicone chip, like people were realizing the processing power of this thing's amazing. Like there's no reason why it can't run these big apps. So I don't know. I'm excited to see what they do with it. And I hope to see something like Final Cut come to it, because when you're on the go, like to be able to work on a file would be amazing just to like bring it up. But like you're saying, like there is something about, technology should be serving you. And like when they come out with all these different features, it can be overwhelming. This digital overwhelm. I've definitely experienced it before. I am the kind of like, for me personally, I'm very like futuristic, like leaning. So like I love trying out the new things and like experimenting. But it can be overwhelming at the same time. It's just like, there comes a point. It's like, is this helpful? Like, do I need this in my life, or would I be better off, I guess like minimizing the number of apps that I use, or minimizing like the elements that I use. I've been learning, one thing that I've been working on is my typing speed, because like, I feel like that's super important. And there are some basic functions that like on the keyboard that I didn't know about. like if you hold down, I think it's like Option and backspace, you can delete like the whole word. And like that's like a, it's like, it's probably been around forever. And like just learning about these features, it's just like, that's a game changer all of a sudden, And
I think that's the hard part, is like knowing you don't know what you don't know. And like you're saying, there's probably a ton of helpful features that have been around for years, or that just got released with iOS 16 or with macOS that we just won't be aware of until like a friend or a video is like, hey, check this out, and I don't know. I think something that Apple does really well, though, is they tend to keep stuff simple for general users, and what they present the things that help with an average person, and they hide the things that only like a pro user or someone who does this kind of stuff professionally will use, which I've always loved. Like people are always like, I could never go to a Mac from a PC. And I feel like that's an easier jump just because it's more intuitive and like natural. Like even the idea of scrolling on a mouse, like you're pushing a page up, like, which is what you do with actual paper. And most PC users scroll down to go down the page. I don't know. There's a lot of features like that I think Apple does well. And I think the reason why I feel overwhelmed is I feel like I should know all of these features because they're super cool. And it's like, I don't really have time. And like, will I even use them? Like, I can tell you the top down phone thing that we talked about. I don't know that I'll use that. It's super cool and I'll want to try it out. But like, I don't know. But there are a lot of people who will use that every day, depending on, I don't know. But it's all very exciting. I'll say too, going through kind of a big life change right now. Technology is a part of it. I think I've kind of worshiped technology for a long time, and I still have a problem with it. Like I love it so much. And so I'm actually trying to like put my foot down pretty harshly with it. And so that's mostly in the form of like not buying new tech, and not having access to new tech. I probably shouldn't have gotten iOS 16, but it doesn't cost anything. It was something I could just play around with, but I'm trying to minimize my technology influx as well. So that'll be fun to work through.
What have you found like useful so far, like in minimizing your technology use?
So I have a really great way, and this is no secret, Maria, my wife will tell you this too, of attaining what I want technology wise. So for instance, if I want a new MacBook and I don't really have the money, well, I'll sell my old MacBook and 2 other things so that I have enough money to buy the new MacBook. Or if I still don't have the money, I will, this is a terrible example, but it would be awesome. I will work with Apple so they send me a free MacBook so I can review it on my channel so that I have it, and I wish that were the case, but I've done that with some other technologies. I've been like, hey, company, send it to me and I'll review it. So it's just my whole outlook on going about attaining this stuff that's just kind of unhealthy. And so I think just putting my foot down and saying, get what you need for the work that you need to do and be happy with that and focus on other aspects of life. Like this whole idea of vlogging the family, like I'm using technology, I'm using my camera that I love, but I'm focusing my attention on my daughter and on my wife and on our life together. And so that's sort of the route I guess I'm taking to do this stuff. And another part too is I have my own companies and so my own business bank accounts. So there are a lot of things I'm paying for the business that I'm trying to see if I can do away with. And so not a lot of money will come through the bank account, the business bank account. If I'm working with a client or something, I'd love to be able to take the money, put it in that bank account to do it legally, and then pay myself instead of having it in there and saying, well, now I can buy the new camera because it'll make things better when it won't. But that's been kind of my approach is I earn this money on the side and then I spend it on the side. And I would much rather give that to our family and spend it on stuff for us. So it's been a lot that I've been working through. So
Wow. Wow. Like, do you have any practical tips? Because like, are you talking about like your phone usage kind of stuff? Like where, you end up mindlessly like going on your phone, like using it. Like, do you have like any tips for like, I don't know, because like I've tried many different ways of reducing like, technology usage. And I feel like some of them are more gimmicky, like, and you end up like just backpedaling. Like, have you found like any ways that like, I don't know, you've stuck with it for long periods of time?
Sure. Yeah. That's a big part of it too. When I get home, I cherish the fact that I have an Apple Watch. And I put it on so that if my mom texts me and needs me, or if anyone needs anything from me, I know about it. But I don't have many notifications on my Apple Watch outside of communication. So like no Instagram, YouTube, anything like that. And when I get home a little bit after 5, I actually like put my phone somewhere. Like even if it's just like down in the kitchen with face down, I just spend time with my daughter. I only get like 2 hours with her. She goes to bed at 7. So that's something I've been doing. And then even beyond that, after she goes down and Maria and I are watching TV or, reading or whatever we're doing, I try to use it pretty sparingly. And to help with that too, I've just deleted a ton of apps off my phone. And it's funny the amount of times I go to my phone for like dopamine and there's just nothing there. Like I'll literally be like, this isn't fun. Like scrolling through my apps. And I'm like, what? This isn't giving me anything. And I like designed it that way, but my mind's like, this isn't fun. So that's super helpful. Like I just got rid of a ton of stuff. I'll even go to the extent of like deleting Facebook. And then when my new band has a show, getting it back on my phone, posting the event, and then deleting it again. So I don't know. It might be a lot of steps for people, but I've found it kind of working. So I don't know. That's why I keep saying put my foot down, because I've done a lot of like harsh stops on things. And I think that's kind of what I needed personally to kind of give up a lot of this stuff. Totally.
That's awesome, man. Well, where has the time gone? This has been epic. Like we have had a lot to catch up on.
Whenever you get me on the show, I just talk for probably 95% of the show. So
that's why it's so good.
No, it's not.
Well, hey, any last things, comments, remarks that you want to share with the Messy fam?
Ooh, the Messy fam. Yeah. Keep trying stuff, be messy. It's never going to be cut and dry, even if you find good systems and processes of doing anything. So I know this is something I'll be struggling and trying to balance forever, because we use our phones for important stuff and, we need technology for our jobs. So I don't know. It's a process, and you're not the only one trying to get rid of tech, or maybe you're trying to get more into tech, whatever your case might be. I don't know. Stay messy. That's the whole point of the show.
Absolutely, man. It's a breath of fresh air having you on the show. Always a pleasure and an honor. And hopefully we'll be able to get you on here and there whenever your busy life allows, within reason.
I'd love to be on more. It's always fun.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much, Messy fam, for tuning in. If you want to join the Messy fam, be sure to like, rate, review, subscribe, follow, all those good things. Wherever you listen to the show, you can find us. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. We're probably there. And be sure to check out Spencer's awesome content. He's been releasing some epic stuff. He's got a couple different places that you can find his stuff. Instagram, I know he's on there, so you can get some good content there. YouTube, obviously. And yeah, any other things that you want to plug, Spencer?
Yes, follow Paul as well. Not just the beautiful mess, but Paul's stuff is great. So he's been killing it.
Appreciate it. Hey, till next time, my friends, stay messy.